there we go. We got an extra one.
I never watched the video David made. And I didn't attend the inquiry. I like to pretend that the bomb erased him in the past and in the present. It'll take a while for me to figure out how a real relationship works. But in the meantime, I keep busy, make a name for myself as a journalist for the Detroit Free Press.
Okay.
When I'm 37, I'll move in with a school teacher named Jaden who was born on the same day as me. Star never stops being special.
Oh, man.
Mom is right. I am pretty special. And when I turn 18, my grandma will try to tell me about my dad, and I will stop her. Shush, Grandma, I'll say. I'm happy.
Okay, so I watched the rest of the credits. There was nothing else, but I think there's 1 or 2 videos that I probably still might have missed, just because of the fact that this says 159. That seems like an odd number to me. This seems... Some things are still missing, but they're not as important as what I have found out. So, yeah, let's just go over this. So, of course, we know the main character was David. So David was an FBI agent. This was true. He was on a mission. So he was gonna... The whole thing about the pipelines and that, and they were basically like an eco group, Greenstorm, and they were trying to stop pollution from happening in water, because water is life and all that kind of stuff. Fair enough, that's what his job was. However, he got involved with Ava. So Ava was the colored girl, and you all know that she did get pregnant. She did have a kid, which you would have seen in the cutscene. So nothing really complicated happened with her that we didn't know, other than the fact that she did not want him in her life. And it seems like many things were compounding on David, and I'll emphasize that in a point that you'll start to understand right now. So Emma, his wife, and her mother, Laura. So Laura was Emma's mother. Let's not confuse that. So David only used that word. He's the only one that called her Laura. Emma didn't call her Laura at any point because it's her mama, so it makes sense. However, Emma talked about seeing the anesthesiologist for Laura, mama, and it wasn't just seeing the anesthesiologist, because yes, she had dementia, she had some other terminal illness, because she passed away. Believe it or not, she passed away. That's another scene that you guys wouldn't see. So, the anesthesiologist's name is Stephen, and Stephen is someone that Emma slept with. Interesting, right? So this happened now before, if I'm not mistaken, it was before or at this exact same time that that David slept with Ava. So that was a pretty interesting thing I found as well. So then at some point, Emma no longer wanted David in her life, and they were taking turns in, like how divorced couples do it, like you come stay, Alba come stay for a couple weeks. But obviously David passed away. There was a suicide bombing that he did. So what other characters did we not discuss too much? Daniel. So Daniel was Mama's husband, Papa. So they had a toxic relationship, and Emma made it akin to that they had a toxic relationship as well, David and her. And she said, so this is what's interesting, I didn't know this. So prior, there was a man named Peter, if I'm not mistaken. His name was Peter. And so David was a police officer, yes, and Emma was a nurse. So Emma was working in the ward or whatever it was, and there was her boyfriend at the time. Peter was quite like a confrontational guy. So he went in there and he broke that up, like, you know, and then she started dating him. She started dating David after that, and that things were going very well. And then of course now Peter has to go and cause nonsense, and he said, "Can I come visit you?" So to Emma, and she said, "Yeah, of course." She was trying to lure him out, because David apparently used to go every day, sit outside the yard when Emma was sleeping. I don't know why this is okay, and apparently she liked it. She seems a very good woman, just saying. But yeah, okay, so then she thought, okay, fine, David will confront Peter before he goes in. No, David sat in the car, he waited. I don't think he was informed of what was going on. So he waited until the guy went in, and then when he went in, he saw uh, Emma and Peter hugging, because Emma says she hugged him because that's the kind of person she is. She's a nurse. I was like, okay, fine, I get it, maybe. But then obviously David didn't take that the right way, so he just pulled out his gun. And before he could really think about anything, he just started blasting. He blasted. He took out the guy's lung, apparently. He then told Emma to not try to save Peter, because people like that deserve to die. Bad people deserve to die. Woof, I know, right? Crazy stuff. So basically the two of them watched Peter die. And somehow he got away with this because of his badge, maybe home invasion, whatever it is. So that's in the past. Then, like pretty much immediately after that, from what I understand, Emma then marries David and they have the kid Elba. So it is David's kid. So I found that very interesting. And she says that she was always afraid of him, but that's why they were together. So when she stopped being afraid of him, she stopped needing to be with him. Because he made a point about saying, I never touched you, so why are you scared? And she's like, no, it's because you have a gun and the badge, so you never had to touch me in the first place. Which, fair enough, I understand. Okay, so another character that we didn't touch on, Mike. Mike was Michael Campbell. I literally searched Michael Campbell, and his name was Mike, so I should have searched Mike. So Mike is the officer that David reports to. That's all he was. There was no other backstory to him. That's his only job, his only purpose in this. And so he did bail David out once when David abandoned everybody. So David abandoned everybody, and Ava's house got raided. So Ava and David's flat, the joint flat, got raided, and David basically left. So then Eric got in trouble, the most trouble, because he was seen as the main guy. So yeah, that was that about Mike. So the other character was Karen. So Karen is most certainly this girl who is watching. She's also an FBI agent, from what I understand. So she was actually in on it, although she wasn't supposed to go into that meeting the one time, and then David got pretty upset. I could not find the episode or the video recording when Karen and David spoke, because there was mention of it, and I tried to search it, but I could not find it. So I don't know what happened in that conversation between Karen and David in some diner apparently. But yeah, I don't think it could be too important because it was just one video. The only other thing was A Squared. A Squared was the group of people that they were trying to get involved with to help to get the bridge down, to stop that whole thing. So that's what A Squared was. And Snow White, aka Maxine, aka Blonde, whatever it was, and Melissa. So this girl was recording all of her cam shows, unknowns to David. He didn't know that. So he said a lot of incriminating things on that, which he couldn't get rid of, because all the things that he did record and they were being used for the case, the FBI agent Mike was gonna dispose of it as he promised David. So he did. But all of that information that was going indirectly into the world, because she said it in one of the videos post the recording. She said that I always record my shows in case something comes up, or she can earn money off a story. So she's gonna post this to the newspaper that pays her the most. So I found that very crazy. So that was the whole story about it. Because David started opening up to her, and she's like, no, you're not my type of guy. Like, what is this crazy stuff? And she banned him. So then he created another account. He went back on the thing. He played low key for a little bit, but then she realized, he said, oh, look, it's me, but I'm sorry, I'm changed. Which he was at that point, to be fair. He didn't do anything wrong. So that's why he shaved. When he shaved, that was new David, supposedly. Yeah, that was very interesting. So then obviously she shot him and she released the information. So I think that in itself is the bad ending. If you don't somehow go down that path, then you don't get the ending. So I think if you play this and you have to restart, clear the whole system and then only do the things that would make David good, would make the good ending. So I'm very curious, because then Emma cheated on David. David got left by Emma. Ava, he couldn't see his child, basically, at the end of it. He couldn't see his new child. He had no wife. His wife was being cucked he was being cucked by his wife, with the anesthesiologist, and he basically just lost his job because he got put on a hiatus, according to the FBI. So yeah, I'm not saying that I validate what David did, but I get it. I get it now, and it's a very sad story the way that it ended. So yeah, you guys would have seen an alternative ending. If I do play this again, I'll play it on stream, so you guys can watch that live, and then hopefully we can try and aim for the good ending. That's what I'll try to do. It shouldn't be that difficult because I know pretty much what happens in all the videos now. So we just need to try to aim the correct way. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like down below. That really helps. Subscribe, recommend to friends, whatever, all that kind of jazz. Follow the link down in the description to my Twitch page where I live stream all these kinds of games. And I will see you guys in the next video.